June 8, 2008 was supposed to be an ordinary Sunday in Tokyo's Akihabara district. A day filled with shopping, sightseeing, and enjoyment. Akihabara, often called Electric Town, is known for its vibrant energy, electronic stores, anime, and pop culture. But on this day, a bustling area of entertainment and passion would become the site of one of Japan's most shocking mass killings. 7 lives were lost and 10 others were injured, leaving an indelible scar on Japan's society and public consciousness. This video documentary takes a closer look at the events of the Akihabara massacre, the man behind the attack, and the social and cultural issues that it brought to light. The heart of otaku culture. Akihabara is one of Tokyo's most iconic districts, a hub for tech lovers and pop culture enthusiasts. Known for its electronic stores, anime merchandise, video games, and maid cafes, Akihabara has become synonymous with Japan's otaku culture. It is a place where fans of anime, manga, and gaming converge to immerse themselves in their passions. The district is alive with the colorful lights of shop signs, the buzz of electronic gadgets, and the joyful energy of crowds reveling in their love for Japanese pop culture. Every Sunday, Akihabara's main street is closed to vehicle traffic, allowing thousands of pedestrians to freely walk, shop, and immerse themselves in the unique atmosphere. It was a day meant to be carefree and fun, a celebration of anime, electronics, and the sense of community. On June 8, 2008, the district was filled with locals and tourists enjoying a peaceful afternoon, completely unaware that a nightmare was about to unfold. The vibrant setting of Akihabara made it seem like an unlikely place for a tragedy of this magnitude. Its atmosphere represented an escape for many people, a place where they could express their passions and connect with like-minded individuals. However, this carefree setting would soon turn into a scene of chaos and despair, a tragic reminder of the darkness that sometimes lurks beneath the surface of society. The attack begins. At around 12:30 p.m., a truck suddenly barreled into the crowded pedestrian street of Chuodori. The driver was 25-year-old Tomohiro Kato, who had rented a 2-ton truck and driven into the heart of Akihabara with deadly intent. He plowed through the crowded streets, striking 5 individuals, 3 of whom died at the scene. Panic spread quickly. People screamed and ran in all directions, trying to understand what had just happened. But this was only the beginning. Kato stepped out of the truck, holding a double-edged dagger. Without hesitation, he began stabbing random bystanders. Chaos ensued. The attacker moved quickly through the crowd, targeting anyone within reach. Within minutes, 7 people lay dead and 10 others were injured. The bustling pedestrian street had turned into a scene of terror, filled with confusion, fear, and desperation. Amid the chaos, some people tried to help the wounded, while others scrambled to find safety. Police officers arrived at the scene shortly after the initial attack, and Kato was arrested at around 12:35 p.m. Just 5 minutes after the assault began, his knife, still dripping with blood, was confiscated. It was over, but the devastation and trauma were only beginning. The victims. 7 innocent lives were lost that day. They were ordinary people, students, workers, and tourists. Their ages ranged from 19 to 74. Among them was a 21-year-old woman who had come to Akihabara with her friends, a 33-year-old man out for a day of shopping, and a 47-year-old passerby who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. These individuals were out enjoying a Sunday afternoon, and their lives were tragically cut short. The victims were people with their own hopes, dreams, and loved ones. They were individuals who had come to Akihabara to enjoy the lively atmosphere, browse the shops, or spend time with friends. Their tragic deaths were a reminder of the fragility of life and the senselessness of violence. For their families, the loss was unfathomable. One moment, their loved ones were alive, enjoying a day out, and the next, they were gone forever. 10 more people were injured, many suffering from severe physical wounds. For some, the injuries sustained were life-altering, leaving them with lasting physical disabilities. But beyond the physical toll, the emotional scars left on the survivors, their families, and the witnesses ran deep. The attack left many people struggling to process the trauma of what they had experienced, the fear, the helplessness, and the heartbreak. This senseless act of violence not only ended lives, but also shattered the sense of safety for countless people. The man behind the massacre. Who was Tomohiro Kato, and why did he carry out such a horrific attack? Kato was a 25-year-old temporary worker from Shizuoka Prefecture. He was not much different from many other young people trying to find their way in the world, but his life took a dark turn in the years leading up to the massacre. Kato faced challenges common to many young people in Japan: unstable employment, lack of prospects, and feelings of isolation. He worked in a temporary position at an auto parts factory, moving from job to job without stability. The uncertainty of his employment, coupled with mounting personal frustrations, took a toll on his mental health. Kato's writings on internet forums in the months before the massacre offered a glimpse into his deteriorating state of mind. He vented his frustrations, describing feelings of hopelessness, rejection, and a growing sense of resentment towards society. Hours before the attack, Kato posted messages online, stating that he planned to kill people in Akihabara. He believed he had nothing left to lose. His posts were desperate cries for help, but they were not heeded. On the day of the attack, Kato's emotions reached a boiling point. He rented a truck, drove to Akihabara, and carried out his deadly plan. During police questioning after his arrest, Kato expressed regret for his actions, but his remorse did little to alleviate the devastation he had caused. He admitted that he had planned the attack as an act of revenge against a society that he believed had abandoned him. His motivations were rooted in anger, alienation, and a desperate desire to be noticed. The legal proceedings. Kato's trial began in January 2009, and it quickly became one of the most closely watched trials in Japan. He pleaded guilty, and his defense team did not dispute the basic facts of the case. Instead, they focused on his mental state at the time of the attack. Kato expressed regret and apologized to the victims and their families during the trial. He admitted that he had been driven by anger and frustration, and that he deeply regretted what he had done. Despite his expressions of remorse, the gravity of his crime left little room for leniency. On March 24, 2011, the Tokyo District Court sentenced Tomohiro Kato to death. The judge ruled that the attack was premeditated and carried out with a clear intent to kill as many people as possible. Kato's defense team appealed the ruling, but the Tokyo High Court upheld the death sentence in September 2012, and the Supreme Court of Japan affirmed it in February 2015. The death penalty was seen by many as an appropriate punishment for such a heinous act. For the victims' families, the sentence provided some sense of justice, though it could never replace what had been taken from them. Impact on Japanese society. The Akihabara massacre left a profound impact on Japanese society. It was a shocking reminder that even in a society known for its low crime rates and public safety, acts of senseless violence could still occur. The massacre forced a reckoning on several fronts: public safety, mental health, and the plight of young people facing precarious employment. In the wake of the massacre, the Japanese government took steps to improve public safety. Authorities increased security in crowded areas, and greater attention was paid to monitoring online activity for signs of potential threats. The attack highlighted the need for proactive measures to identify individuals who might pose a risk to themselves or others. The massacre also led to tighter knife control laws in Japan. The weapon used by Kato was a double-edged dagger with a blade length of over 5.5 centimeters. Following the attack, the Japanese government moved quickly to tighten regulations on the sale and possession of knives, making it illegal to carry large knives without a valid reason. These measures were aimed at preventing similar tragedies from occurring in the future. The struggles of temporary workers. The attack also brought to light the struggles faced by temporary workers in Japan. Tomohiro Kato's situation was emblematic of a larger societal issue. Many young people in Japan were, and still are, trapped in unstable employment with little job security. These so-called freeters, a term used in Japan for those without full-time employment or those working in temporary jobs, often face low wages, limited career prospects, and a lack of social recognition. Temporary work became more prevalent in Japan during the economic downturn of the 1990s, and by 2008, a significant number of young people were part of this precarious labor force. The uncertainty of temporary employment left people like Kato without a sense of stability or purpose, which, combined with societal pressure to succeed, led to growing frustration and alienation. This precarious employment situation fueled feelings of worthlessness and despair, contributing to Kato's motivations for the attack. Kato's story highlighted the urgent need to address the working conditions of temporary employees and to provide better support for those who feel disconnected from society. Following the massacre, there were calls to improve labor laws and create more secure employment opportunities to prevent young workers from experiencing the same level of instability. This tragedy also pushed the government to acknowledge the mental health challenges that often accompany precarious work. The lack of stability in both employment and personal life can take a severe toll on an individual's mental well-being, underscoring the importance of developing comprehensive support systems for workers facing such challenges. Addressing the struggles of temporary workers was seen as a crucial step toward ensuring that such tragic events would not happen again. Mental health and social isolation. The Akihabara massacre also highlighted the challenges related to mental health in Japan. Mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety, have long been stigmatized in Japanese society, often leading to individuals suffering in silence. Kato's actions underscored the importance of providing proper mental health care and the need for early intervention when individuals show signs of severe distress or alienation. The massacre prompted conversations about the importance of mental health awareness and support. There was a growing recognition that mental health services needed to be more accessible and that the stigma associated with seeking help had to be addressed. While progress has been made since 2008, mental health support in Japan still has room for improvement, particularly for those facing unemployment, isolation, and other social challenges. Remembering the victims. Each year, memorials are held in Akihabara to honor the victims of the massacre. Families, friends, and community members gather at the site to remember those who lost their lives in the attack. The memorials are a solemn reminder of the tragedy that unfolded on June 8, 2008, and a testament to the resilience of the community. The victims were people who had hopes, dreams, and loved ones. Their lives were cut short by an act of senseless violence, and their loss continues to be felt deeply. The community's response to the tragedy has been one of solidarity, with people coming together to support one another and ensure that the victims are never forgotten. The Akihabara massacre also led to changes in how the community viewed itself. Akihabara, once solely a place of joy and entertainment, now carries a heavy memory. But instead of allowing the massacre to define it, Akihabara has continued to grow as a cultural hub, resilient in the face of tragedy. The streets are again filled with anime lovers, tech enthusiasts, and curious tourists. The spirit of the district, though touched by sorrow, remains vibrant. Thank you for watching through the story of the Akihabara massacre. It's important to remember the victims, reflect on the lessons learned, and continue to strive for a society that supports those in need. If you found this documentary video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth stories on events that shaped our world. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.